Hello, everybody. Welcome to the ReactCAST. I'm Joe. We got Nicole. We got two special guests, Jack, Jerry, and Jeannie Mai.
Woo!
Claps, claps, claps. Real quick before we jump in, please do the thing where you go and give us a review on Apple and Spotify and Amazon and anywhere else you listen to or partake in podcasts, because when you do that, it helps us get out to the world, and that helps this exist more. Right, guys?
Yes, do it now,
Facts.
please.
Also, I honestly read the reviews, so if you leave one, I promise I will read it.
Yay!
I do. I really do.
She's not lying.
I'm not lying.
She's not lying. We're going to talk all things relationships today. We took questions from you. We've brought them here, and we're just going to dabble in that and give you our thoughts and our experiences and our advice. We're not experts, but we have opinions. Before we do that, though, there's a damn tradition here.
Before we do that, it is my favorite tradition, and we missed it last week. So I'm very excited for you guys to experience it live in person.
Is this a theme song?
week.
I've been hearing like theme song of Joe just like riffing on everything.
Yes, that's what I have
Yes.
to do.
I'm about to witness this.
Here we
Okay.
go. Here's a track. Yeah.
Get it, Joe?
We got
The
Jack.
mood says sexy.
We got Jeannie. We got Nicole. And we got Joe. Yeah. Here we go. If you're looking for love, you're in the right place on the ReactCAST. On the ReactCAST.
So good.
It is good.
If you're looking for kisses, you got the right face on the ReactCASt.
Hey.
On the ReactCASt.
Hey. Hey.
We're gonna talk about love and stuff.
Hey.
We're gonna talk about getting that butt. If you're looking for love, you're in the right place on the ReactCAST.
Yeah.
Wait, that made me feel some type of way.
That was
Joe.
good.
That was really good.
That one worked. I like that one.
Your little yes too.
Very sensual, Joe.
Thank you, guys. Are you in the mood now?
Oh, I'm in the mood.
Awesome.
Yeah, the yes.
Okay, we're not going to vamp too much. We just kind of want to jump right into it. We're going to use all the questions that they gave us. Look, we've got some people that are married here, been married for a while, and we got some people that have been in and out relationships. I'll let you guys tell us your status right now.
Oh, wow. Okay, Jack, would you like to go first?
Of course. I am single. I have been in the dating pool and seen a lot of different crazy things, so I'm just here to offer some advice and see what's going on in the world today.
Okay.
I am choosing to be single for the first time in my 20s, and I'm almost 30 now. So I'm finally experiencing life alone for the first time, but it's been a beautiful journey of understanding myself outside of a relationship.
Were you one of those like serial relationship people? You couldn't help it?
I mean, people
She's
just,
like, maybe.
people just want to take me out.
Oh,
You said I'm popular.
Just wanna take me
humble brag. Not even humble.
But yeah,
Okay.
I did answer the question, right?
Yes, you did.
Cool, okay.
We're doing it. Nicole?
Very married now. Had a very extensive dating life beforehand, but I'm proudly a dinkwalk.
What'd you say?
I'm going to own it. I love being a dinkwalk.
Would you
like,
like?
what?
Yeah. Will you?
Can you define that?
Define
DINKWOC.
Dinkwalk.
Think walk. I've never heard of that.
never-
Dual income, no kids, with a cat.
Goals.
Yeah, man.
Goals. Wow, I want to be you when I'm your age.
I hate dinks. I hate dinks that own it. I hate dinks that are proud of it. I have been in a relationship for 19 years, been married for 8 of those, and I have 2 kids, and I hate dinks.
Can you say Dinklebird?
Dinklebirds.
Dinkwalk.
Dink walk. But that one sounds almost like it's a slur, so I don't like it. Dink walk's not good. So that's what you guys got here. You got a lot of different perspectives. I also dated before that as well, a long time ago. So here we go. Not experts, but people with opinions.
Yes.
Hard, fast, raw, sexy, moist opinions.
God.
Very
Oh,
moist.
God.
You have to say boys all the time. Like,
You
every
do,
time
like-
we shoot together, you say what? At least once. I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
It's a pattern.
I miss Plachy.
No, you stop. Oh, by the way, Plachy is not in the MC chair today, and I'm taking over just because he had some personal stuff he had to handle. So he misses it. He says hello to you all, and he will most likely be back next week. So give Plachy all the love. Claps for Plachy.
Claps for Plachy.
Yeah.
I hope his bunny's okay.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, we just keep this all running week by week, so we'll make swaps as needed. And
running,
life.
and running.
Life.
All right, we're jumping in. Here we go.
Let's do it.
All things relationship. Your questions. First one we got is from Mitchell Goodluck.
Ooh.
And they ask, is love at first sight actually real? How do we feel about that, my friends?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, the
You don't think
immediate
so?
no.
Immediate no.
Interesting.
Why? Why
Lust
immediate?
at first sight is definitely real.
Interesting.
Ooh,
Interesting.
okay.
But you can't love without getting to know a person.
That's so true.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I actually was like the total opposite until she just said that. I was like, I think you can like see somebody and just know that that's your person. But then when you said it's like lusting instead of love. Yeah, love, you got to build that relationship and trust with the other person.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, from my personal experience, I've experienced being on both sides of the coin where my most successful relationship that lasted 5 years, I wasn't initially attracted to him, but over time we built that trust and we built that love, and then attraction grew over time. And then I've been in relationships where there was initial attraction. And that also it was a different type of relationship. It was definitely more, I would say, like lust-based. And those are typically, more fun, I would say.
And listen, lust can 1,000% turn into love.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the perfect situation is those two Venn diagrams come together and start making sweet love themselves. You got a little lust.
Yes.
You got a little love.
I definitely think you need a balance.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys are thinking of an infatuation at first sight. Lust is a little heavy because unless,
Yes.
it could be that for sure, but I think it's infatuation at first sight because I have experienced what you would call love at first sight.
Okay.
Like hardcore, fell head over heels and like lived in the misery of loving this person for a whole year and not getting that reciprocated love because I was in kindergarten. I was in kindergarten and I saw this girl. Her name was, we'll say, J Love. J Love, and I saw her and I'd never seen anything like it before. Like the clouds parted, everything got warmer. I was in a hug embrace when I was around her, and I didn't know how to feel those things, and I could only equate that feeling to love at the time. And I remember when it was the last day of school. We were the last two being picked up by our parents, so we just had this moment where we were sitting together. And I think I wanted to talk to her for the whole year, like just me and her one-on-one. And then she told me she was going to another school the next year. And I was crushed.
Was that your first heartbreak?
Yeah, I do believe so.
So young.
For whatever that meant in kindergarten.
Yeah.
I got married in kindergarten.
Did you?
Yeah.
How?
It was to my boyfriend at the time. His name was Kirk.
Kirk.
Kirk and I are still friends.
Kirk's a good, strong name.
Yeah, but it was my parents' friend's son who was the same age, and apparently we would go into the closet and like kiss because that's what we saw mommies and daddies doing.
What?
In kindergarten?
Damn, girl.
We were 5, and so then our
Ho.
At kindergarten.
and so our parents said,
give me some. Hey, that's my girl. That's my girl.
Our parents said, you know what, they're cute. We're gonna do a little wedding. So they did a whole little wedding ceremony. I got a ring pop. We drove our like play school cars off into the.
What? Excuse me? Because being like coming from a immigrant family background, my parents are Asian. They did not let me date at all until I was like, I forced them to accept me having my first boyfriend at like 16 years old. They literally made me break up with my first boyfriend when I was in middle school. They literally told me to break up with him.
Well, it's because you didn't get married right away.
You get married right away.
That makes
There you
sense.
go.
Like
That
you
makes
must
sense.
get married immediately.
That makes a lot of sense.
Jeannie, Jack, have you guys ever had anything as close to love or infatuation at first sight?
And not in kindergarten, I'll say that. I was focused on coloring and other things like that.
Always have good days.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever witnessed though love at first sight, I would say. My whole life too, I was so like focused on training and gymnastics and stuff. So I think the sport was love at first sight, even though it's not a person.
I was gonna say Jack's love at first sight was ranch.
No, oh my God, ranch. Okay, that's a story for another day. Nobody will understand my love for ranch. Oh my gosh, I'm dating ranch actually. I'm not single. I thought like it's interesting to see the perspective because I really thought, yeah, you could have love at first sight and really think that like this is my person. But then, am I in love with like their physical appearance or like,
yes,
are they like my best friend? And then I think I like them. But I've noticed like as I get to know somebody, that's when I think they're more attractive. So it's usually the people that I'm not like, oh, you're so attractive on the outside right away that I have a deeper connection with. It's mostly like, okay, I think you're like good looking, but like I'm not like lusting for this. But then as I get to know them, they become like hotter and I'm more attracted to them.
No, I totally agree with that. I think initial attraction doesn't really mean that much to me. I'm more attracted to people's energy and how they treat me, and if they have character or morals, and if we align with the same values, like that's attractive to me more than just like a physical attraction to their body. And that's why like my relationship of 5 years lasted so long, because we aligned in every single thing, spiritually, mentally, but unfortunately, physically, we weren't aligned in that way. And after 5 years, I kind of realized I think I need to take time away to realize and understand myself and understand if that's important to me.
Yeah. And it's
For
good.
sure.
And you should. And
Yeah.
it'll make you stronger in your future relationships.
All those things fall into place, right?
Yeah.
It's like we all have our levels we need for each of those, and it's not a bad thing. Physicality is part of that. It 100% is.
It really is. I think it is an important part.
And there's a lot of relationships that are good relationships for that moment in your life. But my husband and I talk about it because we knew each other a decade before we ever got together. And had we ever like dated when we initially knew each other, no way we would have worked out now. Like we both needed time to mature and figure out what we actually wanted. So then by the time we got together, we were both very confident and we knew that that was the other person versus like we could have screwed it all up.
Oh, exactly. Just taking time away from the dating scene myself to do the inner work, I know is going to make me a better partner in the future. Because in the last relationship, I found a lot of things within myself I didn't like. I didn't like who I was. I realized I needed to go to therapy to figure out a lot of unconscious anger that I was holding on to. And that's what I'm doing right now.
Sounds like you had to fall in love with yourself and make sweet love to yourself before you could do that with somebody else.
Honestly, the maturity, that's hot.
Thank you. No, seriously. Self-awareness is sexy.
Yeah.
It truly is.
I think there's one, before we move on to this topic, I do think there's another version of love at first sight. I actually don't think it is just physical. I have something that I call a love for talent boners. If I see somebody sitting at a piano and just rocking it and I've never seen them before, and they could be physically attractive to me. They could not be physically attractive to me, but that talent, that moment, I've definitely momentarily fallen in love with people because of my talent boner.
I agree with that.
It's almost like a celebrity crush kind of vibe. Like I love Miley Cyrus because of Hannah Montana, but like she doesn't even know I exist. So it's just I love her so much, but she doesn't even care.
Yep.
Which is a heartbreak.
Maybe she does. You never know.
I feel that though. Like the talent, like I do have like an attraction to talent and intelligence more than physical attraction. Just something about that energy is so vibrant and you can just like feel it from across the room and it just like hits you and you're like, please come here. Come here. Can I hug you, please?
You're like, I didn't love you before, but now I do.
Yeah, exactly.
I am on board. All right. One of you guys want to read that second question right there?
How do you handle rejection if somebody you really like says no to going on a date?
Whoa, what a great segue.
Wow.
Yeah. This is from
Segue.
Gemini Wolfstar Gaming, who I've noticed comments on a lot of our podcasts.
What up?
Yeah, what up?
Hello, Gemini.
Thanks for listening.
GWG.
Hey, I'm also a Gemini, so gang.
Oh,
Oh, Gemini.
Gang.
Oh, Gemini.
Wow, Aquarius. Can't relate. Okay.
Scorpio. All right. What do you guys think? What do you think? How do you handle rejection if someone you really like says no to going on a date with you?
I mean, the way that I've always thought about it, if someone doesn't want to invest in me, why should I waste my energy investing in them?
Amen to that.
And as long as you can you have to move on and you have to just know that the right person will say yes. And the right person who will actually compliment and be a good partner will want to be just invested in it as you are. So if someone says no, just take it as a sign they weren't the right person.
I get that. You guys have any thoughts?
Well, I've had years of therapy, and this question's really deep. Because from what I've learned, everything is pretty much a mirror to your own inner life. So if you feel rejected and your reaction is like you feel like anxious or you have this like lack mentality, that's coming from within. That's the story you're telling yourself. And if you want to change the story, how can you talk to yourself or do some physical actions to show you that you love yourself enough to validate yourself, to know that you're enough? Telling yourself that I'm enough and I don't need this person's validation or their presence in my life to make me feel good.
In every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
Not just dating.
Not just dating, for real. But if you're feeling rejected, I feel like that's a void that you have within yourself. And how can you nourish yourself? How can you nourish your soul and feed it? Like taking yourself out on a date, like a solo date, like go to the beach, look at a sunset, like really truly enjoy your own company. You really don't need anyone's presence to validate your existence because you are truly enough.
Woo yourself is what she's saying. Yeah. Give yourself some woo.
Exactly. Surprise yourself.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Buy yourself flowers.
What's your favorite date to take yourself on?
Bro. Okay. Okay. So my favorite days to myself is I wake up, I do hot yoga.
Okay.
I come back, I journal a little bit. I talk to myself in the journal.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah. And then I take myself to the beach.
Woo.
I buy some juice. I take a health shot. And then I either pick up my skateboard or my roller skates and I skate down the pier. And then if I have time, I'll like go rock climbing.
Hell yeah.
I'm a very physical person. Like I have a lot of energy. I have a lot of emotions, and I realized to regulate myself, I need to do a lot of physical activity.
Yeah, that date was like 7 days long.
Yeah, I know. That was only like maybe 3-4 hours, guys. Okay, total.
I would be exhausted dating.
No, I have so much energy. I'm like a puppy. Like I don't sleep. I need to tire myself out. For real.
Tell me why I'm the exact same way, and I'm like, I want to do that date now. Like, should we go on a date?
Can we do that together?
You honestly, please. We can like woo ourselves.
Yes, I'll take you to my favorite spots.
Oh, I'm excited.
And also, like self-dating with friends is is just as good.
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
truly.
Yeah, Jeannie, I think you handled that question with way better words than I would have, because all I was thinking is, you just got to tell yourself and try not to fall down that like spiral of darkness and
Exactly.
and self-hate, because it's not necessarily about you. It's just that connection in that moment. It wasn't time. And if it would have been forced, the relationship would have been miserable, and you would have probably hated yourself even more after that.
Exactly. Rejection is redirection.
It's kind of a gift.
Amen.
Oh, wow.
It is.
You need to be a therapist.
I know.
Therapy, you guys.
Wow.
Everyone should go to therapy. It's really good for you.
I'm going to say that, though. Rejection is redirection.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And it's nothing personal. It's truly just about the other person's preference. How you take it is truly like your responsibility. Like you are responsible for your own emotions. And I understand in this sort of like in this culture, people have a tendency to blame other people for their emotions, but it's actually so much more powerful when you take responsibility and then you realize like, oh, I can change the story that I'm telling myself.
For
So
sure.
true.
Should be pointed out that easier said than done.
Yes.
These are
Yes.
skills that
A
take a
lot
long time to
easier.
get,
I'm
because
s-
getting
yo.
rejected sucks.
Yeah, I'm still in therapy. Like,
Yeah, it sucks. It feels like crap. We've all been there. It does suck. We're not gonna ignore that fact at all. It's just about how can you self-love through that suckage. You know what I'm saying?
Joe with the words today.
All right. Okay, we're gonna move on to Regan Rock Fenrir 77. Is it healthy to never argue in a relationship? I've been with my partner for 4 years now, and we've never argued. I always try to avoid confrontation and go with their flow.
so
Interesting.
sounds very avoidant.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like they're not tapping into their authentic truth.
How big is that resentment lump they're carrying on their
Yeah.
back?
Something's building
That's
up inside.
Heavy.
Yeah.
That is heavy to not like show your partner who you truly are. It's like you're not being seen.
Or are you also scared to tell your opinion because you think they're going to explode on you or something like that too? I'm the person that bottles it up. So this is literally me. Like I would never say anything because I'm too scared to like confront people. I'm like, just go with the flow. Everything's fine. Everything's perfect. But then I've slowly learned that as I start to say things that I don't like, that's how you build a relationship. Otherwise, it's just all one-sided and one of us is feeling bad while the other one feels great.
And what's happened in the past when you let it build up like that? Like, what was the experience?
It all lashes out. And then it's like, it takes like one thing. It's like a ticking time bomb. One small thing, it'll all lash out. And then they're like, whoa, why are you coming at me with like 20 different things? And I'm like, oh, it was all building up. And then I didn't even know it was that bad. And then, yeah, it just gets, and I'm crying and sobbing and everything.
Man. Been there. You're not, I'm the same way. I avoid confrontation. I hate it. I'm also a people pleaser to a fault. It's like my poison. So even in a relationship, I do the same thing because I'm like, I don't want to deal with what's going to come after I say the thing, but also I don't want to hurt you either, and I want you to like me, so that's a problem.
But there's also the like, you shouldn't, I mean, a healthy relationship are not arguments, they're conversations.
Yep.
And
she's healthy. She's in a healthy relationship.
But yeah, it's the not being afraid to have those hard conversations, and they are hard, but that's part of growing, and that's part of growth, and that's part of the things that, you know, you've talked about working on.
Yeah.
So don't argue in relationships, but have more conversations and don't let somebody else dictate who you are.
Yeah,
And-
exactly.
And even in trying to have those conversations as opposed to arguing, again, you argue. You're going to argue sometimes, and it's more about how are you guys going to do conflict resolution as you move forward, again, without resentment, with being truthful, giving your honesty, and then coming to a moment of compromise and understanding as best as possible. Nothing's ever going to be perfect all the time. It's how are you guys handling those rocky moments, and how are you traversing the
Yep. The best outcome to any confrontation is that both sides walk away not fully like happy, but not fully sad. Like you got to win some, you got to lose some, and you got to find that middle ground, and always think about where your partner's coming from or where the other person in the conversation is coming from, so you can see their side while still making sure you're true to your side. It's a delicate dance, but
No, I really like what you said, Nicole, about kind of reframing, saying that we're having an argument versus like we're having a conversation, because having a conversation is more like building a bridge. Like a relationship isn't black and white. Like there's no one's like completely in the right and no one's completely in the wrong. It's how can we understand each other and find that mutual ground where we can continue a healthy dynamic together. And personally for me, I'm like the opposite of you, Jack. I really like to have these conversations as soon as possible and to confront the tension, because from my experience, after having these conversations, the relationship just flows better. There's like we release so much of this heavy energy, and then there's just more light between us. And personally, I feel like I don't like wasting my time. Like I'm almost 30 years old. You know, I don't want to spend time with someone who doesn't truly know who I am or know my truth. So I think in the process of dating, like having confrontations or these conversations is really important to determine whether or not you want to continue spending time with this person. Do they see me? Do they get me? If they don't, will they step up to align with me? So, you know, it's all of that happens in the beginning process, in the whole beginning of dating for me. It's not this like people have this like honeymoon phase, which like I have, but I quickly sort of kind of bring it to like a more I don't know, like I find it more fun to find out the truth about each other, as opposed to this like delusional honeymoon phase where
unpack the bags real fast.
It's more fun to do that. Like I love just confronting things head on, and I've noticed I make men uncomfortable because they're not used to someone so direct. But yeah, that's who I am. Yeah.
And then you celebrate the weird.
Yes, exactly.
You can do whatever you want after that.
Yeah.
It's still scary though, but I'm working on it.
Yes, Jack.
At Nemer111 asks, how do you start on finding love if you are at a point in life where you think you are ready? I have a job. I'd like to think I'm ready for a significant other, and I prefer to start off as friends. Help, please.
What I've always realized I've seen it with some of my friends a little bit more is when they're searching for love, they never find it.
Yes.
And I know that sounds really cliche, but it's more of like live your life, be happy with you, and it somehow just falls into place. And that's just some weird life voodoo, but I think it's just how it is.
You can't watch the love pot boil. It'll never boil. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Also, don't make a list. The worst thing that someone can do is make a list of like, these are the things that I want in a person, and they must check off this and this and this and this, because like the right person you will mold to each other. But if you go into it with all of these flags and walls that are up, you aren't actually open to like finding a relationship or a partner.
Yeah. The second they don't, nobody's going to meet any of those requirements anyway. So it's like the second they don't, you're like, oh, they're out. But it's like, I obviously have your basic requirements, maybe, but don't be so strict because then you will mold to the person and give them a chance to like fall in love with them or actually start to like who they are.
Yeah, I think when you're more rigid with love and like it has to be this way, you actually block yourself from the blessings of experiencing love.
My favorite thing in getting in when I was dating and like getting into a relationship, the one thing that I would always do would be to look at the person that I was dating, ask them what are things they're passionate about, and then get to go down the rabbit hole of learning about their passions and things that are outside of my like normal world so that I could grow, learn, experience, and then share something with them and then hope that they do the same with me. But that's how you kind of find new things that you didn't even know you liked about yourself.
No, I think that's so beautiful. And also what, going off what Jack said, my personal experience is that I've actually never looked for love. I've always just like naturally been in the right place at the right time while I'm doing my inner work, and significant people kind of just are placed in my path. But it's never been by choice. It's just organic and it's natural. But I think it all comes from aligning with your highest self. Like, are you doing things that you love? Are you creating the life that you would be proud of? When you're starting to align with your highest self, that's when you find your community. That's when you find your soulmate.
Yeah. So for Nemmer, go out and do all the things that you love. While you're at those activities, doing all the things that you like and you enjoy, start talking to people.
Exactly.
And start meeting new people and getting to know them and being their friends.
Like you said, no lists, no pre-expectations. Just have a cleansed palate. Look, it's like, I love strawberries, but I've never had a banana, so I don't think I like bananas. It's like, go out and live. It's the same thing I tell my kids. It's like, you can't say you don't like something if you've never experienced it, right?
That's what my mom said to me as a child about food, and look at me now.
Food, experiences, people, clubs, sport, like anything. Go out and try them, because if you have this preconceived notion, all you're doing is holding yourself back from living life and limiting the experience you have on this floating rock that is just hurtling through the cosmos. Try things. Same with love. Meet new people, because you never know when that spark is going to spark, right? So,
and then when it shows up, you make the choice of like, do I want to take a chance on this or do I not? Do I still want to focus on myself? Because I've had that multiple times too, where I'm just like very happy where my life is going, and then people walk in and I'm like, do I take a chance on this person? And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, and it either pays off, but I'm at least making the choice at the end of the day.
What's the craziest first date you've ever been on?
First date?
Oh, God.
First date.
All right, what's the craziest date you've ever been on?
I feel like you have some crazy stories. Go for it. Start us off.
I have a couple.
you look like you're blushing already.
I've just had a really vibrant dating life with just incredibly cultured people who have shown me new things that I've never personally experienced before, and I'm so grateful. Like, even if those relationships didn't last and they weren't meant to last, I'm so grateful that I put myself out there to learn about myself through other people and to have the opportunity to love someone and to be loved as well. So when I was in New York, this guy took me to Sleep No More. Have you heard of it? It's this incredible theatrical film noir experience. It's like with like live actors, and you're like participating in the storylines as well.
It's an immersive theater show about Macbeth, and you walk in with like masks so you can't see anyone.
Yeah, you're not allowed to talk, but the actors like come and guide you, and you walk into all these like different rooms, and it's truly magical. And I'm a theater kid, and I love like participating in storylines. So it's so fun. It's like a choose your own adventure escape room with actors, pretty much.
That would be fun. Okay.
So that was a cool day. I would say that was like a classy, elegant day.
Did anything crazy happen? Like, how was it going to something like that, and then you guys immediately get separated? So did you guys come together at the end and then talk about your experiences, or did you stay together the whole time?
I did not want to be separated. I was so scared. It was so scary, bro. Like, going in and like they were trying to separate us, but I was like, no.
Okay, no. Yeah, normally you're supposed to enjoy the experience by yourself.
Honestly, looking back, though, I wish I had a solo experience, because I'm like, I blocked myself from having the the best experience I could have because I was like scared of trying something new or like being on my own. So I really want to go back, but it's closing soon.
But you made him feel so good as you clung onto his arm.
You did.
He
He's like,
loved
yes.
every second of that.
It's like, it's working. It's working.
Jack, what was your craziest?
You know, mine has been very vanilla compared to that, I think. Mine's like the little things in life. Like, I don't really care to be like wowed and like go to something big. It doesn't make me fall in love with you more, I think, by doing crazy things. But a lot of the fun ones I've been as people have been doing escape rooms with me for some reason.
Oh, that's
and
fun.
I'm
That's a
like,
date.
I love escape rooms. I think it's fun though because then I get to see how they work and how I work, and either like we're clashing at the end or we're like coming together and we're solving the puzzle. So I think it's a cool way to get to know somebody, and that's like a cool date idea.
Yeah, interactive, working together, as opposed to what has now become like the worst first date, which is like going to a movie.
Going to the movies, you can't even talk.
You sit in silence.
Yeah, it's awkward.
Yeah, and if you guys don't like the movie, or if they don't like the movie, and you're like, I'm laughing, and they're not laughing, what's wrong with this freak?
Okay, I have to tell my date.
Do it.
And I'm curious whether you guys would have gone on this date. It was someone I met online. We had not actually met in person. And so this was our first date. And the day before, he goes, hey, so it's actually my birthday?
Oh, the day before?
Yeah.
Oh,
Interesting.
interesting.
The first date. And I was like, okay, I'm still fascinated by you. I've still enjoyed our conversations. He's like, well, I have this crazy list of things that I wanted to do.
Oh.
And it was like a list of like 10 things. And it was like, try a food I've never tried before, see a view I've never seen before. Like, and it was like a list of just all sorts of like crazy wild activities.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, challenge accepted. We went through a whole bunch of different things of like a new view on life. I took him up on Mulholland. We like saw the city. We went out and we tried like an ethnic cuisine that he had never tried before.
Oh my gosh.
And then it ended with one of the things was he's like, I've never been to a strip club. I've never gotten a lap dance. And I was like, whatever, I'm game. Let's go do this.
go.
And so we got like a couple's lap dance. And then he's like, okay, we have to go into this. He's like, I don't want to be the creepy guy that on a first date does this. I go, okay, great. We're going to come up with like a whole backstory. Like we met on Halloween. It was like this crazy experience. And like we had come up with like our entire like relationship story going into this. And then we get there and I swear to God, this line is still stuck in my head. The dancer was asking us questions about our relationship. And we're like, oh, yeah, we met on Halloween. She's like, oh, my God, what were you guys dressed as? And I was like, oh, well, I was dressed up like Maverick, and he was Goose. And she goes, oh, my God, you were dressed as a goose? Honk, honk.
Oh, no.
Oh, girl.
That's perfect. I love it.
Oh, my gosh.
Was number 11 on his list murder?
He's like, we just got to do it.
We got to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe we like murder. That's
Would
a good
you
one
have
to
been
end
terrified of that date, or would you have gone on it?
Nicole, that
on.
is
100% would have went on it. Yeah.
Hey, I love how adventurous you guys are.
Yeah.
Like, because that's a huge time commitment to someone you never met before.
Never met. It could go so many good or bad ways at the same time, too. It really depends. He was
Life's
at least
a
aware of
story.
it, though. He was kind of down to bring somebody new, which is nice.
Yeah, it really depends on how we're texting or like vibing right before the date itself. Like, do we have banter? Do we have like a similar sense of humor? Because like if there's something that is there for me to explore, then I wouldn't mind having that huge time commitment for the first date. But to be honest, like on a first date, I usually like to keep it on the shorter side, like maybe like a dinner or like an event, something more casual. But like that's a crazy, like you guys did like a whole bucket list for him. That's amazing. He probably will never forget you ever.
100%.
It's a great story, too.
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't like it wasn't like you just met and it was super spontaneous. You guys have been texting for a bit. There was a little bit of a rapport.
Yeah.
So
But that was the first time in person, though.
Wow. I know, right? Doesn't that kind of give you anxiety?
It gives me like butterflies. Like dating apps in general scare me so much. I just never know what I'm going to get on the other side.
Wow. I've never been on a dating app.
Ditto. Never.
Ever, right? I mean, like, Nicole, you've been on dating apps? Oh, you met that guy on a dating app, right?
I've been on dating apps. I've been on many.
okay.
Yeah, I loved them.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was just so cool to meet people that
That's
were
so nice.
outside of like my world, and like they were people that I would have never met had it not been through something like this.
Aw. I love that attitude towards it because for me personally, I'm really scared to meet people that I don't know, who don't have, like, we don't have mutual friends and like they're not part of the community. So I'm just very, I don't know, I'm very cautious.
To all of that, definitely Google stalked every single person to make sure that they were a real person.
Great.
My friends and I would do like share where we were, share our location. We would tell people where we were always. We had outs. I always had like bail plans, which I think is just a safety thing, especially as like women, to doing that.
Oh, yeah.
But as long as you're in a safe place, you feel safe and you feel good about it, then I have actually made a lot of friends to this day from dating apps.
That's good. Would you guys have any good bail stories where you just like pieced out in a date?
No, but I fell asleep on a date once.
How did you fall asleep?
He was a DJ, and he was just talking about esoteric music that I didn't know about.
Slowly just starts nodding off.
I honestly like just fell asleep, and then I woke up and he was still talking, and I think he knew I fell asleep.
Oh no, not this poor man.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Irrit.
At least you never made him feel rejected. He couldn't tell he was being
later.
rejected.
All right, well, let's move on. I don't even remember where we started. Kennedy KJK2016. What is your romantic movie night? Oh, your go-to romantic movie night?
It's funny because when I was a little kid, I used to think you had to go to horror movies just so the girl could like jump in your arms or something like that. That was like the most that would happen.
You're not wrong. I touched more people during horror movies than anything else. Wow, that sounded weird.
Oh my god.
I'm like, wow.
Okay.
I think though nowadays I love just like a good like lighthearted rom-com. Go to the movies like. I bring flowers. I love flowers. Or like I will give you flowers. Something just like I'm a hopeless romantic. I'm very like little things matter to me.
Oh, what are your go-to flowers? What are you getting?
Ooh, I'm not doing a rose.
Yeah?
It sounds crazy. During the summer though, I'll give you like sunflowers or something
Nice.
like that.
Aww.
Other than that, I'll go based on the color of the flower. Whether it's like their favorite color of like blue or something like that. It's less on like roses or something.
Big sweetie.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Trying out here, you know? It's the little things in life.
So rom-com
Yeah.
at the movie theater.
Yeah, I used to be at the movie theater. I think I would rather do it. Oh, but homes are scary. You can come to my house. I'm scared to go to yours.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
But like horror movies, dark horror movies, like I think are such fun date night. It's so fun for date night, obviously, because like you're like scared, you get to hold each other and like but either I go that direction or I go like completely like opposite. Like I'll do like Disney or like Studio Ghibli films and
Nice.
just like tap into the kind of like the childlike nostalgic vibes and the cozy vibes or just something from like like a throwback movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Nicole?
There's a book called The Adventure Challenge Book, and it would just give you crazy like date ideas. And so one of our favorite ones is you go to a restaurant you've never been before. You ask the waiter to
Go to a strip club with you.
go to a strip club with you to give you whatever their favorite food is. You basically order blind, and then you
Okay.
go to the theater, and whatever the next showing is, that's the movie you're seeing.
Oh, that's fun.
So it's like a full roulette gamble, and you just go with the flow.
That's a book.
It's
It's
good
a
book.
challenge that's in this book.
Oh.
I'm been married for a while, so my movie go-to romantic night's a little bit more fuddy-duddy. Staying in the bed, under the covers, good food, and then we're watching. If we're doing a rom-com, I think the best one that we both like is Just Friends, one of the best comedy rom-coms ever. If you haven't seen it, or we go nostalgic, like you were saying, A League of Their Own, Back to the Future, just loving some of the classics. Yeah, and then hopefully some massages. I have a better answer than what I just gave. Before and even in a relationship, even being married, I had a drive-in that was like in our hometown. It was the best date night place.
Have you guys ever been to a drive-in?
I have actually.
I've been to one in a cemetery.
Okay.
Yeah,
Which
the
kind
Hollywood,
of freaked me out.
the Hollywood
yes.
Cemetery. Yes.
I thought I was like sitting on dead people.
You
And I was
were.
like, am I doing
You were.
this? Yeah, great.
You were.
It's just I didn't need to know that. We could have just said we're going to a drive-in theater, but it was on a cemetery.
During the pandemic, I went to like a drive-in rave.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was like a rave, but like
Oh my God, was it the one
drive-in
with all the block? Sorry.
block.
Like, you had like a little square.
Yeah, you had a little square, and you
I
get to
remember
rave in your car.
Oh my God.
You just rave in your car,
Do
and
you
then
all
you have
turn
to,
on the radio station?
yeah, you have to
Yeah.
turn on the radio, and we're like super far away from the stage, but we're all raging. I did that for Cascade. If you guys are
Yeah, I know
Cascade.
exactly. I know
So-
exactly that one you went to.
Yes, it was an interesting experience, but you know what? It was so fun.
It seems like fun. Also, those silent discos. I want to do silent discos too. Those seem so fun.
You've never been?
Never been.
They're really entertaining to watch on the outside.
Yes.
Jeannie, you're a rave girl? Rave girl? Have you ever went to a date at a rave?
Yes.
What was that like? Do you recommend or not?
So I was seeing this guy. It was a very new relationship. I didn't really know him, and he bought tickets to go to Nocturnal with me, and Nocturnal is a rave. I didn't feel comfortable going with him alone, so I asked my friends if they could buy tickets to come with me.
Valid, fair.
And, right? Because like it's far. It's like a 2-hour drive to get to the rave, and like I didn't really know him. We've never been to a show together, so I didn't want it to be like I'm stuck with this person the whole time. So I brought like 2 of my friends with me, and we ended up having a really good time all together. But it's because I felt comfortable and I felt safe too to enjoy myself. But I would say like, I don't know, I wouldn't go somewhere with a guy alone if you don't really know them. I would say like, ask your friends to come with you, because it's a fun, like it's a concert. Like you want to have fun there. You don't want to just be like scared for your life or like uncomfortable because you just don't know each other's energy yet.
Well, then you swiftly get over that next step where you have to have your friends judge who your potential lover is.
Exactly.
Get all that out of the way.
Exactly.
Find yourself some good friends whose opinions you trust. Yeah. Because I dated a couple people, and afterwards my friends were like, oh, they were terrible. And I was like, why didn't you tell me earlier? Like, I value your opinion.
Yeah, but
And
would
then
have you
they're like,
heard it?
No, I would have. Because
Would
they next to you, they were like, oh, yeah, get rid of this person. I was like, okay.
You're like, sure, I'll do it.
All right.
All right.
Cool.
Heard.
All right. Let's go. One more here. At LambSmart1263. I just recently asked someone out, and we're going out really soon since we've known each other, but just as friends for about a year now. It's way less awkward. However, I still don't know when to do things like kiss and whatnot. Since we're in high school, I don't want it to carry further. How will I know when to do it? And what if I feel like the time is right and it's actually not?
I think this is the question where I take my glasses off.
Yeah, everything's getting serious now.
Because so this is really interesting to me because this person is asking advice they're asking outside advice about a very specific person who has their own boundaries that they're not upfront asking about. Because I like what we said earlier, like self-awareness is sexy, consent is sexy.
Communication.
Having these conversations about their boundaries is really, truly important. And I don't think you can find those answers outside of your guys' connection. So I really think this question should be directed to whoever you're dating.
Right. It's like what Nicole was saying. You guys made a list. You talked about the things. Now, I want to give a little bit of a leeway. This is a young man or woman in high school. The prefrontal cortex is not evolved and developed yet. They're just learning how to people.
Yeah, you're right.
So let's give a little leeway
Of
here.
course.
However, you're all the advice you are giving is valid. We're just going to acknowledge that it's harder at that age. But if you can start to try these things earlier than most, you're going to be more capable than everybody else in the dating pool moving on. So practice now. It'll be awkward maybe. It will be scary at first. But once you get over that initial hump of anxiety, you're going to be in a much better place.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And they will truly appreciate you for being considerate and respectful.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless. Like, it may be an awkward conversation at first because, like, you're in high school and you've never done any of these things before. But creating that safe place to talk about it creates even more intimacy between you two. It creates less distance. And then, the kiss might be even more spicier because of that.
Yeah, a little tension. It's going to be very, very awkward and uncomfortable, but I think you have to be uncomfortable to become comfortable. And also, I mean, during this time, too, there's so much pressure to, like, feel like you need to be doing these things during this point in your life. And, like, you don't need to be doing any of this. When the time is right, it's going to happen. But, yeah, have those conversations and talk. And I never did it, and I wish I did. The confrontation and just having those conversations, it's scary. Do it. And also down the road, even if the relationship doesn't work out, I think that person will look back and be like, wow, that person was really mature and taught me that I should have these conversations and should do these things for future relationships.
And you said you've been friends for about a year now, so you've already laid a lot of the foundation, hopefully, where you can bring these type of things up. But what you have to be prepared for, I would say, young man or woman, is it may not work out. And if you value this friendship, you will have to take that rejection as smooth as possible and continue to communicate because You don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're taking a chance, and it might be worth it. But don't lose the whole shebang, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes. And don't be sad if you lose the friendship afterwards. I
Yeah,
guess.
taking a chance.
Yeah.
Taking a big old leap there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're at 52 minutes. I can maybe ask one more question here. You want to read that one, Nicole?
Jay Scotty, for real. What are smoother ways of determining whether someone is available or taken without awkwardly straight up asking?
I'm trying to think what I ask. Or
This is an interesting question because, situationally, you have to make sure it's appropriate to even find out if you want to take that relationship further. Like, if it's your boss, I'm not sure if you should even go there. You know what I mean?
I would definitely not.
Yeah,
Absolutely
exactly.
not. Don't recommend. Unless you're really taking a chance. Go for it, but don't.
This is very interesting because smoother ways, it's giving like they're trying. It's like maybe they're trying to flirt with this person. And flirting is, I empathize with this question because flirting can be hard. It's like, how can we communicate that we're into each other with very cryptic language? You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like,
and the other one needs to catch on. And if one person's not catching on, you're like, oh, interesting.
yeah, but I think like if it's an appropriate situation, I think putting out like subtle feelers and seeing how the energy flows is always how I personally would take it. It's like, dropping hints here and there. And then if they're receptive to it, I think intuitively both of you guys will know that you guys can, turn up the spice a little more.
Yeah. I think it's multiple times of dropping those hints, and then over time you'll slowly start to feel this tension, and you're like, maybe I should then now ask and be upfront. Or I'd be like, hey, do you want to go out or something?
And then know that you have to accept that answer with grace on the other side. Like, that's the worst part is, when you feel like you have a good repertoire going with someone and then they're like, I'm in a relationship. And then you're like, oh, well, I'm bailing. I'm totally out. That also doesn't feel great. And that doesn't feel...
Oh, it's that embarrassment that you have.
Yeah.
You just want to flee from it.
Exactly. Because if you like someone and they might be in a relationship, they probably have friends who also have similar values and interests. So if you just keep that friendship going, you never know where it's going to lead you.
Oh, you're trying to get into orbit. I see what you're doing. You're getting some of those satellites.
Open to more options. Networking.
I have single friends that I would love to set up who all share very similar values to me. So, like, if you're already into me, you might be into one of my friends, and you won't know that if you cut it off immediately.
Yeah, that's a tough question.
It's also hard, too, when people are in relationships and they're flirting. Like, why are you flirting if you're in a relationship, and why are you not, like... Why do I not know that? That's what stresses me out.
Yeah, that's awkward. Like, I
'Cause
feel like if you're in a relationship, that's disrespectful to your partner to do that. Like,
or like if you're trying to flirt and maybe you're just a flirty person, just you like cut it off. Maybe like, hey, I have a boyfriend or like girlfriend or something. You know what I mean? But yeah, there shouldn't lead up that much to where there's like, oh, now there's chemistry and I ask you and then you shut me down. I don't think it should get to that point if you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
Just to clear that up.
yeah,
But,
very valid.
Just curious. I got a wife, but you single?
yeah, it's like, okay.
Okay, well, I think that's it for the questions that we've got. Do you guys have any further thoughts or advice that you would like to present to the people at home listening when it comes to dating and love and sex that we might not have covered?
Okay, I guess like a huge lesson that I've learned personally is learning to love people in their own love language as opposed to projecting your own love language onto them.
Great. Let's talk love languages when you're done with your point. I love this.
Yes, exactly. Because I, like, for example, like, I love gifts and I love giving gifts and I love receiving gifts. But, if I give my partner, like, the most perfect gift, if their love language is acts of service or quality time, like, they're not going to feel that love that I'm trying to express to them. And it's truly like, you really want to be considerate of your partner's needs in that way, because I've learned that I've had a pattern of projecting my needs onto them and not seeing their needs as well. And so I just want to be a better, more present partner moving forward.
Nice.
She needs to be a therapist.
Yeah, I know. That was a
these
great
answers
answer.
are so
She's on her
good.
way. On her way. Jack, what's your love language?
Oh my gosh, I'm learning from you at this point. My love language is quality time.
Yeah.
I just love time spent. But I've been with a lot of people where it's like it's either quality time or it's like physical touch. And you do have to learn the other person and what they want. Because sometimes I've been giving them things of like, oh, I think this is great for you, or like quality time, giving them a gift, but it means like nothing. But to me, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm doing so much for them. But in the end, it doesn't mean as much because they don't really care or value it, maybe.
Exactly. So it's not even really moving the connection forward.
Yes.
If you're not on that same page of how do we express that we care about each other.
Yeah. But it really comes down to communication. That's the biggest thing I've learned too, is it's just like communicate. And it's so scary, but you need to communicate.
Yep. Every aspect
It's
of
scary
your
for
life.
Jack.
I literally have been working on that. Like, one of my goals for 2024 was like communicate, talk more, and have those awkward conversations. So I've been trying to do this a lot more. And I've noticed though, relationships, whether it's friendships, relationships, any relationship in my life, it's been stronger and you get to know people more and there's more trust and it's just less surface level.
It always feels good on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Every confrontation, it's like, I'm glad I got this out of the way, and you can breathe, right?
Yeah. And even if people fall out because you're expressing your truth, that's still healthy for you because you are putting up your boundaries, you're letting them know where you're at. And if they don't align with that, then it's actually good for you to release that connection.
At the long run. Nicole, how you loving?
What are the love languages?
Okay, it's acts of service.
Yes.
Gifts.
Physical touch.
Quality time. What's the last one?
There's one more.
Oh, words of affirmation.
There you
Words
go.
Words of affirmation.
There you go.
Got it. I love giving gifts.
You do.
I love giving gifts, and like they're not big. Like I love giving small gifts that show that I really know a person or have thought about things that would be meaningful to them. And I feel like love languages happened after I got old. Because it's not a thing that we ever talked about.
It definitely wasn't. I do feel like I first learned about them probably around 2010.
Yeah, like this was never part of my like communication or my vernacular, like talking about relationships or love, which is an interesting thing that this is sort of cropped up. Like I like just clear communication and honesty. And I think I found a partner who respects and likes those things as well. Like,
yeah. And I think love languages are very dynamic because they change constantly.
Yeah.
Like you have in different eras of your life, you have different preferences, and it's all about communicating those preferences when they change. So people are on the same page, and you're not like and your partner's not left in the dark of like how they can meet your needs or make you feel seen and acknowledged.
Yeah, mine is. I think my first one is physical touch, and then probably maybe words of affirmation. I don't like gifts. I like giving them. Actually, my love language. Sorry, it's physical touch, and then acts of service. I do believe that's how I do it. And back in the day, I thought the physical service, the physical touch side of it all, I was like, this sucks. I hate that it is my love language because you automatically think sex. But it's not necessarily that. I like just laying down for an hour and having my head scratched, right? Having somebody just tickle my back, something like that. I think it's funny that you say trauma. It's like my mom left when I was very young, and so maybe there's a little bit of that there. I'm looking for a hug. I'm looking to be embraced and to feel love that way. What I have trouble with is receiving gifts.
oh, I can't. I hate receiving gifts.
Same.
Hate it.
What?
Yeah.
Everyone hates receiving gifts? I love getting gifts.
Oh, it's so uncomfortable.
Right?
Really?
I hate getting gifts.
I will give them all day long. Ask me to
Yep.
open it. I'll go do it at home by myself. Absolutely.
I'm so bad at receiving them.
Yep.
There's like, I don't deserve this. And it's like, what if I don't like it?
Even too, that comes with compliments though too. Like receiving compliments, it's so hard. I'm always like, oh no, I need to compliment the other person or like downplay what you just told me.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Jack, did you know how amazing you are?
Do you know you're also amazing? I'm not amazing as you.
Aw, thank you.
Gross. All right.
We have a friend date coming soon.
Boom. Any other thoughts from you? Any final thoughts, Nicole, Jack?
I just learned she's a therapist and she has a great relationship. And I need to learn from both of them at this point. So I've just taken little pieces and I'm going to learn. 2024 could be my year. We never know.
There you go.
Jack. We love Jack.
You're going to continue your communication, but with these two ladies.
Yes, exactly.
You're going to confront more.
Yes.
Let's
I'm
go.
going to confront. I'm going to confide in both of you.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. Nicole, any final thoughts? The world of love.
The world of love is just, it's fun. Like, I had so much fun dating, and I had so much fun getting to know people and entering into new relationships and just remembering that it should be exciting. It should be a joy. It should be a thing that you're looking forward to. And if it's not, as Jeannie said, think about all the reasons like why it's not. But like, if you have the right mentality and you are going into things with the right like attitude, enjoy the moment. Say
For
yes.
sure.
Like have like explore the world, know that everything's not going to end up being like the be all end all, and like
it ain't
enjoy
a movie.
the ride.
These ain't movies. It's just life, yo. Love yourself first, because once you get to that point, you're going to be able to open up to everything else.
Also, this is the one line from the OC. I brought it back to the OC.
Ooh, what you say?
When Anna says to Seth, confidence. Confidence is the sexiest thing that anybody can have, and confidence comes from believing in yourself.
Boom.
Confidence. More people with confidence, the better our world will be.
And play the piano really well.
That's
Don't
my
have
girl.
a talent mode.
That's my girl. Hey.
And I
So
don't know if
many
this is
bands.
too far off to add on to. I'm also curious, how do you know you're in love when we can't explain the feeling? Like, what if you're in a relationship, you're like, oh, I think I'm in love, but why do we think we're in love? Like, how do you know when you're in love? Because it's all a
should
feeling
ask-
that we
yeah.
never
Nicole.
have felt before, but then we're like, oh, I think I'm in love. But like,
I had a weird thing where I didn't think that I was capable of feeling love. Like, I knew I was very capable of feeling like confident and that I could find a partner and a person who I could share a lot of things with. And I had a lot of really great relationships with a lot of really amazing people. But at the end of the day, you know, sort of when they dissolved, it was for very logical reasons. And like, we were very like upfront and matter of fact, and like had those conversations about like why we weren't right for each other and why we didn't quite fit together. And it wasn't until I met my now husband, and it was such a weird moment where we had like been dating for like a little while, and it had absolutely nothing to do with anything. But I was watching him like wheeling and dealing and negotiating with some JPL like space people about judging a beer competition for like astronauts so that we could then go visit JPL. And in that moment, I just saw all of the things. I don't know what it was, but like I saw all of the things that like I wanted in a partner.
Confidence. Beer.
Confidence.
Space.
persuasion. Like,
Persuasion, confidence. It honestly was like, it was the confidence that I was so attracted to.
It was giving daddy energy.
And I,
Can I say that?
Daddy.
I just feel like men who hold themselves and like are like know how to take care of people and like know have respect and consideration and self-awareness. It's daddy energy.
yeah.
Right,
and, like,
Joe? He can relate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daddy Joe.
Daddy Joe.
I can do that, guys.
But like I really did feel that moment where my heart just like actually melted.
Aww.
And it was like it was such a weird feeling because I hadn't felt it before. And I really like, I'd be like, oh, all those other people fall in love. I'll find like a partner that's like the best business partner and makes the most sense. And I felt it. Like,
Aw.
I felt that moment, and it was a thing that you can't describe until it actually happens.
Thank God it did,
Exactly.
because you are so pragmatic that you would have made a business transaction relationship eventually.
I would have. And
It would have been successful though.
it would have been good. Yeah,
been
I would have been
successful.
totally happy with that. You know, but it was nice that I also got the warm fuzzies.
I'm glad your heart melted for sure. I don't think there's any true definition of when or how or love, or you just, you're going to know. And at some point it's a leap for people. At some point it's, that this is going to be something that lasts forever. It's, I don't think there's a definition, and you shouldn't expect a definition. You're going to know when you know
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
It's a feeling.
But it's a feeling that you have to be confident in yourself
Yep.
first. And when you love yourself, then you'll know when love happens to you.
I think last thing I would like to add is I think out of dark times you truly find yourself. So I think if anyone's in a dark, lonely situation and going through it, I feel like that's leading you closer to finding love. Because I've been in a situation where I've had a breakup, like my 5-year relationship ended and I was devastated. Like, even though I initiated it, it was still so scary because I thought that person was my future. But then I knew because I've never had time to myself in my 20s, I really thought like it's important for me to spend that time with myself before I commit to a partner.
Yep.
And
feel all the feels. And
Yes.
if that person, my parents were college sweethearts, dated, and then when they went off to grad school, broke up for 2 years, dated a whole bunch of other people. I think my mom got like 2 or 3 other proposals that she turned down.
Damn, girl.
And
What?
then, after they did all of that, they still talked and were like in communication and like grew into like the people they were. And they were like, you know what? That was the right person. And they got back together.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. And I feel like nothing is linear. Connections aren't linear. You never know what's going to happen. You never, the best experiences of your life haven't even happened yet.
Yeah. And they did the exact same thing of like finding themselves, figuring out who they were outside of their relationship with each other so that they knew when they made that choice, it was the right choice.
I feel like I have to propose to your mom now.
I think we all should propose to your mom.
Oh my gosh.
It's like now it's on my bucket list. I think I have to propose to your mom.
Joe.
And that's it. We're going to end on that one, everybody. Thank you for listening to the ReactCast. Thank you to Jack. Thank you to Jeannie. You guys were wonderful. Did you have a good time?
That was amazing. I loved that. Aw.
Wait, was this your first podcast?
No.
No? Okay. You guys are the first ones on that it wasn't their first podcast.
Yeah. Well, the first ReactCast.
Yeah, first ReactCast.
First ReactCast.
Wait, no.
yeah.
Everyone else, it has been their very first time ever doing a podcast, period.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you guys are vets, and
Yeah,
that's
you
why
are.
it was so smooth.
Yeah.
And before we go, Jeannie, Jack, what do you want to say? Where can they find you?
I'm at Jeannie Elise Mai on all platforms.
You should follow her. It's real fun. You should follow both of them. It's real fun content.
Oh, thank you, Nicole.
I'm at Jack Jerry across all the platforms as well. Also, too, if you have any advice or something, I can try to answer. I look at DMs and comments, so I try.
Nice.
Yeah.
And we apologize. No word from Anthony this week. It's my fault. It's my fault. Look, I was supposed to get a word from Anthony. Blame me. Look, I will get you a better word for Anthony. Shut.
He was drinking too much wine up in Napa.
Yeah, Anthony could not do it this week. He was under the influence of Napa, and because of that, we wanted to give him some grace and some time to sober the hell up. And like I said at the beginning of the podcast, please give us reviews, give us 5 stars on all the podcast sites. It helps us out. And in the comments down below, hit us with some of the answers to the questions that we gave you guys today and read from you. And also hit us with some new questions that we may have to answer in a part 2 of this. So I'm Joe. We got Nicole. This is the React channel. Goodbye. Bye.
You can do whatever you want.
You guys look great on the wide. ASMR. Okay, great. Here we go then. All right, we're recording. And everybody feel good?
Yay!
All right.
Aw. This is so fun. This is so fun.
Okay, here we go. We're going to jump in.